Okay, folks, here we are in the middle of the forest. I wanted to come here and do a dystopian, we're in the ex-post modern times for sure video. For a while, it's been bugging me, jogging me for weeks, right? Maybe a week or two. God damn it. Oh, sorry. See, because of the shade, it's going to be difficult to get the lighting for the camera working properly. But you see, I'm right now in the Burn Creek Park, and when you're walking down this path, I actually do mean to come because this is flat ground. There's actually like good spots to camp out around here. This is right at the part of a trailhead, however. Now, I've been coming here for a while, and so we're right in the middle of the forest. Remember how I show you like those lots that are right beside a park, and then they're just empty, eating up, no fence, it's just grass. They mow down the house, they excavate the foundations, and then level it, and then walk away. Yeah, land sharking, mind you, right? But this goes back way longer. See, if I could show you this, I'm gonna also do another video with the camera turned around. So, right in the middle of the forest, you just come across a retaining wall. Now, I actually should have done and started with the other wall, but the way that the light is keeps coming in this way, right? So you see how it goes up here on a bit of an angle, but actually it'll be easier to explain the concepts of, see, because this one, see how the stone work? It's not all cement, it's used cement on it, but you see how it's like the masonry? It's all rocks that were taken either down there from the creek or over that way from the side of the hill. There was a house here like before the turn of the 19th century, you know what I mean? Like in the 1800s, something like that. Here, I should be showing you the wall. We'll just start also this wall over here on this side. Some big rocks, holy motherfuckers, right? So you're just there in the middle of the forest. This tree's obviously grown into the wall and grown all this shit out and broken it up here on the corner. Now, as I remember as a kid, there used to be stairs around here too. Bit of a, maybe I'll get back to that, but look at the masonry work on the wall. See how we got it flat topped here? So they finished it off with just a straight cement. Somebody kind of knew what they were doing, but this is like I said, there used to be houses here in the forest. This part of Burnaby, there was the other side of where the tramway is. I did a video showing that there was an old farmhouse that's now an empty lot right by the BC Hydro. That the BC Hydro was owned by the schools because that's where it used to be an old schoolhouse. There used to be in this area a lot of housing. Well, I mean, for the 1920s, there was farmhouses and there was work, like construction, logging type, rail lines. Rail lines came through here too. So there was like industrial shit. Like in the 1890s, when there was a house here that was 20 or 30 years old at that time, they had some, you know, horseshoe place or something like that, you know what I mean, down the street. That, I don't know if you can see through the trees. Yeah, you can see the buildings. See, there's condo, damn trees. See, the condos stop there on the other side of the park. But this part of the park was once private property. There's no more farmhouses. I actually think, now I never seen a house here. I actually think there was a house maybe around there. See how young those trees are? You know? Over there, that was like the walkway or something like that maybe. See how we got more trees lined up on this side? There may have been a neighbor's house down here, but when you look up and you see how these trees are older, but they're still only like 40, 50, 60 years. These trees aren't 75 or 100 years old, folks. Now, we've got one over here that might be. See, it's as wide as my arms. But this is the direction of the creek. So I think this retaining walls the houses were on this side, not in this big flat spot. Could have been, don't know, not for sure. But as I remember it, I think there was stairs. There was literally like 5 steps up going to nowhere. And I mean, after they put the train line in, these things got taken out. But I remember there was one direction around this area. There was stairs that went to nowhere, and there was another direction on the path going one way or the other from here, where there was other things like stairs and asphalt or some sort of concrete slabs or something like that, but they were in the ground. Those things have been removed. This, however, hasn't, because nobody remembers, right? But there were. See, there you go. We can see the big condos. See, that's that thing right there. Those ones were built like 20, 25, 20 plus, 30 years ago. So they're actually occupied. But the dystopia is real. There's a place way down the hill in the kind of the delta, the farmland area, where I'm sure if I can find the same trails, I can walk back and find that there's shit like this in the forest, in the middle of like, but even more overgrown than here, because here there was like streets and shit, but they weren't paved roads. They were like donkey trails, like just dirt trails, right? You know what I mean? But it was big enough for horse and buggy to pass by a horse and buggy going the other way. Maybe not so modern for the 1920s and 30s, but this is Canada, right? So this part was like underdeveloped. It was over on the other side of the hill that was more with the rail lines and the commercial stuff, right? But that, what I'm talking about, it's only like maybe a mile, mile and a half, and then that is more of a business district, and you go over the hill and not down the hill. On one side, it's like in a trough of the hills. There's rising hills all around. The area down there where I pointed out the townhouse developments that aren't filled up, and the high rises that are taking over commercial space that are empty, like 100% empty. So what I'm trying to explain here, folks, is, see, in 1975, there was nothing here. But maybe in 1950s or 60s, there would have been more than one, like a larger house, a manor house, a larger house, and then maybe some neighbors or some outbuildings, all in this general area. And the city took it down when they were developing stuff to make it more commercial stuff, I guess, to make it more, I don't know, maybe, I'd have to do the research on this one at the public library. But there was some crazy shit here that, like I said, maybe in the 50s or 60s, there would have been an old derelict house that was from back in the 19th century, you know, the late 19th century. Like some old farmhouse hitching post type of dealio. And that, it's in the middle of the park, right? This was never part of the park. It predates it. The river, the creek, is over there. So whatever the city zoning was, they never let people, you know, build in the fucking creek or put the commercial stuff in the creek. But since that time, we've been building the townhouses and the condos. They could just build right into the forest again, folks. There's no lack of fucking housing or space to build the fucking housing in BC. Some of the spaces where they used to have houses, see these trees? That would have been there, like maybe there would have still been a house there. See, like the willow kind of tree, that thing might have been there when the house was still standing, but it would have been, the house would have predated that shit, you know what I mean? I guess it's not a willow. What kind of a tree is that? Ask Google. Maybe. Anywho, this one's like oddball, been here before that they've been wiping out and forgetting about the previous generations and their property rights or their stake on the fucking land in the city limits. See, there's nice flat, there's probably good soft spots over there. I could use those trees to tie up clotheslines too and stuff. It is a really great spot, but it's right at the trailhead and there's still lots of people. I'd be doing just as well, just to go over there and camp on the private property and be like, haha, I'm gonna get woken up in the morning anyways. Fucking go for it, call the cops. But nevertheless, I don't know. There might be ghosts here too. Oh yeah, so I was also gonna talk about the difference in the masonry, in the different, see how this one, it's more like cut or something? The other one's at an angle. These ones are all square stones. So they've been cut. And the other ones, they're more like rough stones. I don't know how much of that's, I'm turning the camera around. See, these are round river type stones, right? So this wall obviously predates this wall. This wall might have been built in the 20s or the 30s. Not even that much graffiti out here in the middle of the forest. It's kind of a haunted woods still. I don't think there's any beavers in the creek though. People mistake those or the muskrats for ghosts all the time. Anyways, I'm gonna leave you with that. Rambling fucking nonsense. But there was, like, 1875, a fucking farmhouse sitting up over there or down here where I'm walking around, and the edge of the creek is, fuck, I don't know, couple minute hike that way. Like, they would sit here so they could get fresh water, right? You know, back 100+ years ago. And then who knows what the hell happened. But what I mean to say is we've been clawing and picking the bones clean of the work of our forefathers, the previous generations that actually tamed the land. Oh, is that a chipmunk? Squirrel? Just, oh no, it's a fucking rat. Oh no, it is a fucking squirrel. Alright, whatever. They look the same. It's fucking... getting worried here. But it's better than, you know, other parts of town where there are rats, where I was earlier today. Anyways, I'm going to leave you with that, and you folks have a nice fuck off now.